Okay, here we go. I'm going to try this again. I'm going to go ahead and burn some, is this Palo Santo? No, sandalwood, maybe? I don't know. It's supposed to cleanse the space. So, I already recorded this video earlier with my iPhone, and for those of you who don't already know, I'm having difficulty with my iCloud and just getting the recordings to transfer to my computer. So I give up on the iPhone for now. I want to have a better picture quality, but yeah, like I said, I'm having trouble transferring the and I meant to make a note of this energy that I downloaded in a dreamlike state recently, and I feel like giving this message will possibly help some of you who are watching. So recently I had to have a new vacuum cleaner ordered. I had to send in the broken one under a warranty. It's like protocol or whatever. And in a dreamlike state, I saw myself suck up a fireball with my vacuum cleaner, and it like messed the vacuum cleaner up. And what I was made to understand by the image is that trial by fire. So when you're learning something new or you're doing something for the first time and it's so difficult and frustrating, you're really working hard at it, it's trial by fire. So any other time that this happens in the next 5 years with my vacuum cleaner, I'll know exactly what to do and where to go, and all the steps that I have to take, and any mishaps that I may have along the way, I'll be aware of. So yeah, trial by fire. The point is that we can learn to do new things, and as long as we stay persistent at them, we can accomplish them. So yeah, right now I'm also going through trial by fire with importing video recordings and linking up the iCloud and all those other things. But as long as I just keep working at it and continue to learn, my editing will become better, my production will become better, and everything else too, so that I can put out the best possible content. So yeah, videos to my laptop. So I'm just going to go ahead and record on the laptop. I use the software that I use to edit with has a record, so I'm just going to go ahead and do it on the laptop, and this is the best I can do for now. So yeah, my 40-day fast. I'm kind of glad that I'm re-recording it, because although I do like to speak freely from the heart, I decided to give it more thought and make a few notes, and so hopefully this video will actually come out better than the first one. But towards the first one, I really started to somewhat channel the energy. My words just started to flow really nicely, and I felt really confident about the message that I was able to give. But so yeah, here we go. So I fasted for 40 days back in 2017. 2018. Okay. Now I would only find out years later, whenever I got into astrology, why I've taken all of these severe austerities. I just knew that I really wanted to know. I started learning about fasting and becoming curious about fasting whenever I was in prison in 2016. And, I got into the Bhagavad Gita and Hinduism, and I saw all these sadhus and loincloths fasting, and I wanted to know why. And I actually came across a book on fasting read it, and then I did a little bit of fasting on my own, about a day, 3 days, 5 days, 7 days, 9 days. I've done 9 days twice, and I really enjoyed the things that I learned from it and the process. It's like you're you're doing it's got physical benefits, it's got emotional benefits, mental health benefits, and also spiritual benefits. But at the times that I was fasting in prison, I still wasn't quite ready. Like, I had just barely begun to open my heart chakra. So I read about the chakras, and I remember it didn't make much sense to me, and that one day maybe I would understand. Um, so yeah, and it's like, you can't force a fast. It has to come on its own. Like, you can feel it coming. You can feel in the days before it's coming that it's coming. And once you're really like locked into that fast, it's a no-brainer, So yeah, whenever I got out of prison, I felt a fast coming, and so I started researching it on YouTube, and that's why I'm putting this video out. At the time of my fast, I had not a single spark of a thought of myself having a YouTube, or else I would have documented it. But the reason that I did it is because of a YouTuber who documented his. And I watched many other YouTube videos on fasting, and it's recommended to take off work if you're going to be fasting, but I didn't have that option. And I actually saw on a YouTube channel that to get plenty of sunlight, and that the sunlight will supply the energy needed so that you don't need to take off work. And sure enough, I was able to open my crown chakra and receive light energy through the top of my head so that I could continue working. But so yeah, preparing for the fast. Shortly before a long fast, I think it's more helpful to eat a little less, go down to like one meal a day, or just like eating lighter and lighter. It's a lot less of a shock to your body whenever you like taper off. But and I have a lot of people ask me, like, wasn't I so hungry? Oh my God, how'd you do it? And after 3 or 4 days of not consuming any sugar, your body will switch over to your fat stores. So the hunger pains go away after about day 4. And your body's no longer telling your brain that it's hungry, because your brain is using a different source of energy to give you energy, to fuel you. So yeah. Also, I wanted to know why all of these greats and all of these mystics fasted. I wanted to know, what were they experiencing? And it's something that's common. And there's actually many human beings. It's actually really common for yogis to go years or even an entire lifetime without eating anything. So I don't need anyone to tell me how unhealthy it is, or how bad it is for me, or that I could die, because eating is something that we are able to do, in my opinion. And we are able to digest and turn food into energy. We don't have to do it, but it's something that the human body can do. The source of energy and the source of life is beyond this realm. Okay. And I also wanted to say that the hunger and the curiosity, like the curiosity for what you can realize, becomes stronger than the hunger. Especially on day 20, like, it was just, I remember telling my boyfriend at the time, like, it's out of my hands now. It's halfway over. It's out of my hands. I couldn't eat if I wanted to. I've come too far, you know? Um, oh, and so yeah, I was really tired at work. I was only working about 35 hours a week at the time. So I was doing food prep at a restaurant, and I was really tired, and I rode a bike to work too. And it was really tiring, but I felt like the way that my mind was working made up for my lack of physical energy. So my mind, like, I was more efficient. I could think more clearly at what needed to be done than before whenever I was consuming and digesting food. That extra energy was going towards, digestion, and it was a little bit, had my mind a little foggy. So it just felt like I was wired more efficiently. So, and I became to speak in really abstract terms and really eloquently. And I would just text and text and text and text my boyfriend at the time, and it would just blow his mind. Like, he would just hang on to every word, and I would be shocked at the things that I was talking about. It was so incredible. Like, I felt like I took like a magical pill. Like, what's that movie where he takes that pill? Is it Invincible? No. Forget the name of the movie. I'll have to think of it. But anyway, I felt like I was using more of my brain. Also, so about on my 20th day of my fast, I realized, like, I would catch like messages through TV of things that I needed to research and understand. And so on the 20th day of my fast, I decided to join an alchemy certification course. And so it was like a spiritual alchemy as well as scientific alchemy. And so yeah, you're cleansing yourself, and you're turning the leaden ego into the golden soul. And that alchemical course guided me to Freemasonry and the goal of bridging the brain hemispheres and connecting the pineal with the heart. And in this course, it wasn't like lectures on video, it was all reading. So I would be reading 6-8 hours a day sometimes, most days, and there wasn't much else to do. And when you're in this deep water fast, oh, and by the way, water and black coffee, I drank black coffee as well. Now, when you're in this deep water fast, your body is restoring itself around the clock, because the energy that it would have been using to digest your food is now going to restoring your body. So it's like you can't sleep at night. So I would stay up reading, and very little sleep, especially in the beginning. But I forget how many days in I had a really powerful crown chakra activation experience. And the reason I say activation experience is because it wasn't just singular to myself. It was other people around me experiencing it as well. This is a really beautiful, beautiful situation that I'm so humbled and honored to be able to share with you guys, that what I was doing, and I wasn't just doing it for myself, I was fasting for other people too. So I was fasting for a lot of reasons. But okay, so let me just give you a picture of this situation, paint you a picture. So I was in the car with my mom, my stepmom, and my 6-year-old niece. She was 6 at the time. And we were on our way to the grocery store. I did a lot of baking during this time too. So I remember I was on my way to go get baking supplies. And I remember actually read I saw in a YouTube video that the essence, a guy that him and his girlfriend did a 40-day fast, and while they would cook, the essence of the food would nourish them. So That's what I was trying, telling myself. But yeah, we're in the car on the way to the grocery store, and my crown chakra was opening, a 1,000-petal lotus. It feels like invisible fingers running through your hair. It feels like light pouring out of the top of your head. It feels amazing. It feels like bliss. There's a lot of different ways that you can open this chakra, but for me, this was one of the ways that I opened it. So yeah, I was in the back seat and I was feeling my crown. No, I was in the front seat and I was feeling my crown. And then my 6-year-old niece said, "Grandma," she's like itching her head, "Grandma." She said, "Grandma, my head's itching." And my stepmom was like, "Oh my God, me too. I feel like I got bugs running up my head." And they were both like talking about how weird their heads felt. And I didn't say anything. And no one at the time knew that I was doing this fast. And so I didn't say anything either. But I knew in that moment that they were experiencing the crown chakra. And I was just so happy and elated that my experience was affecting the people around me. My sacrifice was having a positive effect on my family without me even having to say anything. I remember years ago, whenever my crown was first beginning to open, or years before that, I was actually in a situation where I didn't have access to much food and I had to like ration what I had out. And so I was down to like 3 eggs a day, like 3 boiled eggs a day. And I remember feeling that ripple at the top of my head and not knowing what it was, just that it was strange. Yeah, it felt almost to me at that time like kind of like a muscle cramp on the top of my head, but not painful. And just ripples, Like when you see ripples in water, that's what it felt like on the top of my head. And looking back, I understand now that it was because of the lack of food. But so yeah, so funny. I remember walking around the grocery store and I felt like Bruce Almighty. I was just like, I was so happy. But so yeah, this sounds kind of gross, but I just wanted to, I had to talk about it because it's crazy. So, 3 weeks in, I had a huge bowel movement, which was shocking to me because after the first few days, you stop, going number 2 because you're no longer consuming anything that needs to come out. But yeah, 3 weeks in, I was like shocked whenever I got the sensation. And then, I didn't even look at it, but later on I would find out from watching YouTube that a lot of people do fasts to cleanse their body of blockages and buildup and also parasites. Yeah, parasites that actually feed on, fecal matter. So I wish that I would have taken a closer look at it, and I just wish I would have known about it back then. But so yeah, that happened, and I was shocked. I had no idea why that happened, but yeah, I'm glad that it did now. And whenever it finally came time again to eat solid food, it felt so strange. I remember planning on what it was that I was gonna eat, and knowing that I needed to eat something light. And what I ate was, I had like a bunch of vegetables, like food processed, and I like wrapped it in a piece of lettuce, and it was so good. Oh my God. And it felt so weird, like finally like swallowing food and feeling it go down. It's the strangest feeling. So yeah, I went 6 weeks without swallowing any food. And yeah. So what I did was I fasted the day after Christmas for 4 days. And then I think I ate one day, and then I started on the 1st and finished somewhere after Valentine's Day. Yeah. And deciding to stop, like on the 40th day, I felt like I could keep going. It had been so long and I'd gotten so used to it. But when you're done, and you know it. Just like when it comes on, you can feel it coming, and when you're done, you know you're done. So yeah, so I continued to eat solid food, regular food. Actually, I became a raw vegan, honestly. So by regular food, I mean I was eating vegetables and salads and stuff like that. But I want to say it was probably a few weeks. But then I got on this, I just felt this urge to eat only watermelon. So for 3 months, I consumed only watermelon. And I would eat one seedless watermelon every 24 hours. And I just felt like there was a lesson in it for me. And so by this time, I had moved out of my parents' house. I had moved down the street, gotten my own house. And so I was working a lot more at this time too. And I'm just going to give you paint you a picture for the next little story time within a story time. And I feel like this was the ultimate reward for the fasting that I had done. And this was what I was striving for, and this was what I experienced. So I was working a lot more at this time, and so I was doing food prep at the restaurant in the morning. I was housekeeping during the day, and I would expedite at the restaurant at night in the kitchen. And so I had just gotten done cleaning this day, and I wish I knew what day it was. Now that I'm an astrologer, like I would so cast that chart just to see what's going on in the sky, like what happened that day. Had to be what was going on in the sky. I mean, they're all always connected, but anyways, maybe I'll figure it out one day. So, yeah, the house that I was living in, I didn't have any furniture yet, and I was sleeping on the living room floor. I had like a little pallet, and I had just gotten done housekeeping, and I had to work that night. And I would lay down and lay on my little pallet and lay back and read. And all of a sudden, I got really, really tired. And from experiences that I've had in the past, sometimes certain energetic experiences can only take place while you're asleep or in a dreamlike state. So if I feel suddenly exhausted out of nowhere and I have the time and the space to be able to take a quick little cat nap, I'll do it because I know that there's something valuable in a different realm waiting. So I was laid back and I was reading my book. And when I suddenly felt exhausted, I decided to make sure my alarm was set so that I wouldn't be late for work. Continued reading a little while, and then all of a sudden, I remember I just dropped the book like this. I just went like this. And I basically passed out. I swear, it was so weird. And what happened, I don't know how long I was asleep. I can't remember. And I don't know if you can call that sleep, but what happened was this being connected to my pineal gland and was in front of me except for I wasn't in this time or space. Something was just latched on, and all I could do was hold the gaze of this incredible being. And it was the most beautiful, scariest thing I've ever seen in my life. And it was made out of light and energy, and it was communicating with me telepathically. And it told me, without using words, that I needed to meditate. And I'm not sure how long we held each other's gaze. And I'm not sure who or what it was. But what I do know is that it was made out of love and light. And that it had been waiting for me. And ever since that vision, I've been trying to make it come back. And I just couldn't believe it whenever I came out of that state. And I remember like thinking while we were connected that I couldn't wait to tell my boyfriend. Am I supposed to tell him to meditate too? Oh my God, I can't wait to tell him. And it was just staring at me and fusing me with light. And so, yeah. Could have been Mahavtar Babaji. Could have been a Pleiadian. Could have been a guardian angel. Could have been God. Could have been an alien. I don't know. I don't know. But I feel like I earned it. So yeah. Could have been an ascended master. Could have been me from a different time or place. I don't know. So yeah, that's what I experienced. Oh, and I'll go ahead and insert a picture of me shortly after to show what I was looking like around that time. And so after this fast, I was actually a raw vegan for about a year. And that was an interesting experience. And when people would ask me why I ate like that, I told them that it made me more susceptible of receiving messages from light beings. That was my answer. Yes, I love the animals, but I'm trying to receive more messages. You know what I'm saying? Like, that was my explanation. But yeah, that was my experience. And thank you guys so much for watching. Go ahead and DM me on Instagram if you have any questions, comments, concerns. Also, comment below if you know any other masters who have done this 40-day fast. I know Jesus, Buddha, Pythagoras, who else? Comment below if you know any others. Although there's tons and tons, countless yogis in the Himalayas fasting right now. I actually heard of a yogi who just recently passed away who lived his entire life without eating. And then there's also the mystic from Paramahamsa Yogananda's autobiography of a yogi. One of the mystics that he went to visit was a lady who never ate. So, yeah. She actually would enter trance right in front of him while they were speaking. Like, she would go into a trance. So, yeah, that's pretty awesome. Kind of jealous. But yeah. So, yeah, that's my story. And don't you know I love you to death? You're the most beautiful thing God ever created. Along with the infinite creator. See the sunshine again and pray it all away. Diamond teeth when I bless the game.